certain man that wants to run everything, it's going to be difficult having two lions in the family, because a man like Anton is going to show up as the man. I'm doing this. I'm handling this. This is my village. To have another man that has come in and have any type of say so at all, I can see how that could be.
I definitely believe we gotta people prioritize.
We gotta think about it. I want women to understand this. Just because a man has a penis, don't make him a man. He could be a male. There's not a lot. Most men aren't lying. Let's make sure that's understood.
Okay.
Right? So some men can raise another man's child because the real father ain't alive.
Hey, we back with another reaction. Man, so somebody answered the question on my birthday. I don't know how he found that out. Like, how you know my birthday was April 9th? I never shared that on here. I don't know how he found that out, but he got the 100. The next question gonna be this. Ooh, I got a good one. I'm gonna have to give y'all choices though. What was my first job? What was my first job? It wasn't a traditional job. That's all y'all gonna know. It wasn't traditional. But so y'all come in the right answer, I'll cash up you $100. Also, y'all support the clothing line, put your cash up in the comments. Also, the $1,000 giveaway will be going down. I'll let y'all know when. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram for that. This is a blind reaction, but I just know by the title it's gonna be good. Let's get into the video, fam.
Then if my dad was there, hypothetically, I would probably clash with him because he was already soft. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that just because you gave birth to something means that you are the best one to raise that.
Come on, let's talk about
that person that you gave birth to, whether you're a man or a woman.
So you believe nurture versus nature?
Yes.
Nurturing that child is more important than possibly more important than nature.
I believe that nature. See, here's the thing: we get so confused about nature as if you are the only one of this child. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 generations of nature within this child that you ain't exuding yet. You remember the Punnett Square? In the Punnett Square, you had a 1 in 4 chance of being something.
Yes.
Right. So this child can have the bottom right quadrant, and you might have top left.
Yeah.
You ain't fit to to raise that child, to be honest. So maybe somebody else who is in that bottom right quadrant is gonna be able to understand that man or that young woman or that young boy and really help them grow into what they need to be.
So you would advise your son to get with a woman that already have children?
If that
children, you would be okay with that?
Children,
remove yourself out.
I don't think nobody advises those scenarios for their children.
But see, the problem is that
but sometimes it just happens because they just might be in love. You can't control
you
who
can
love.
because marriage is a business first. It's a business first. We know statistics of what it is when men are where children are raised in certain type of household. We know what the statistics are, right? And so I'm not gonna sit here and say a man isn't a man based off of some criteria that we make up, right? Because I use data. The reality is this: what we are doing is excusing bad behavior. And instead of us going to the mothers and say, hey, why are you not accountable for who it is that you decided to open up your legs to?
Bullshit.
Because we ain't having that conversation. The only thing we saying is, oh, that's a bitch ass nigga. But you opened up your legs to him. He wasn't a bitch ass nigga when you had sex with him.
He might have been.
Man, you gotta preach, bro. Hey, talk that talk, bro. Talk that talk. Now he'll be, man. I wish I could use profanity, but I can't because I can't express myself. You feel me? But bro, he was a you feel me? A weak nigga. You feel me? When after you had a baby with him. So when you open your legs to that man, he wasn't that then? But now all of a sudden, he'll be, you feel me? He that type of nigga. He that type of nigga now. But you chose to open your legs to him. Like he said, we gotta have that conversation. We gotta have that conversation. Because you see him, he said his pops was one of them type niggas. He said his own dad was. Now, I have a problem when it comes to when guys talk like that, because a lot of times guys don't even hear the whole story. I've seen so many situations where the mom kept the dad away from the kid. Like I told you, I had my ex had a kid. Well, we was just messing around. I won't even call her my ex. We weren't really together. I knew I wasn't going to have a future with her. But she would get mad at the father of the kids and threaten to keep the kids away. I said, no, you better let that father see them kids. I would tell her that. I said, you better let that father. Don't never let your emotions get in the way of them kids seeing their actual father. I told her this. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times kids will grow up thinking that their dad didn't want to be around, but the only reason they went around was because the mom didn't even let them around. And now the mom have brainwashed the kids that he wasn't nothing. And the kids grow up hating the father. Now that I really don't rock with. But like I say, before you really judge that man, get to know this man. Go have a conversation with him. You feel what I'm saying? But like Anton said, that conversation need to be had for sure.
When you know, but my point is
if
when we continue to do this, we validate bad behavior.
What is the bad behavior?
Because you're saying that you can recover from this, when in reality we know statistically that child has a much greater chance of going to jail, a much greater chance of needing therapy, a much greater chance of joining a gang. He has a much greater chance of being less successful. And instead of us saying, hey, hold that accountable so that this don't happen in the next generation.
I think I'm missing context.
No.
If what?
If
he has a much greater chance of doing all that. If what?
To say it's a guy's responsibility to raise this child based off of a village concept or a community concept, or because he's a real man, removes the accountability from the woman of actually making sure that she picked the right guy and to marry before she carried in the first place.
So what happened?
I married before I carried, and then I got a divorce.
But that's not the norm, because what I see on Instagram and social media is people
I'm trying to figure out what we talking about.
What I see on Instagram and social media is when a woman get pregnant, regardless of whether she married, it's congratulations, sis.
Okay.
That's what I see.
I agree. Listen,
should we throw stones at her?
Absolutely.
Anton, shut up. You do not do
that. You said that it's congratulating a woman, but if you want to throw accountability at anybody, throw it at the man that left the family.
It's a small
unit,
minority.
Right?
It's a small percentage of men that's having the majority of the children. Most black men are not having children out of wedlock. That is a falsehood. And so when we sit here, when we want to solve for a problem, we solve for the majority, not the minority. And when you look at the statistics, most black men are not having children out of wedlock. It's a small minority of men that's having the majority of the children with a whole lot of women.
Is that you got that from a
how do a woman have a child without a wedlock without the man too?
What I'm saying is,
leave him out of the conversation. What is he talking about? Just don't say nothing the whole rest of the episode, bro. He just come out the blue, bro. Anton, get him, bro.
If we got 99% of the men, and we said we're going to hold all of them accountable.
No, I'm saying, like, if the woman had the child, well, like, she didn't have it by herself.
I'm explaining
so did he.
If we got
Didn't you just hear him say a small amount of men is get impregnating a lot of women? He said a small amount of men. And then he goes and say, if the men not involved, bro, is you listening?
9% of men to do the right thing, it takes 1% of men to populate the majority of the women.
True indeed.
So even if you hold all men accountable, it doesn't solve for the problem.
No, it's not about all men. It's about holding everybody accountable.
We do, but men by default are automatically held accountable.
Let me go back to this stepdad situation real fast, because I have a stepfather, right? Mm-hmm. But he didn't raise me. My grandfather raised me, right? So I didn't personalize my stepfather because that's who my mom is married to.
Yeah, that's who your mom chose.
That's her relationship. I have examples around me that I don't have to look towards him. His only job, honestly, for me, is just to be example of a good person, a human being, period. Right. I don't need him to be my father. I don't even need for none of that shit, right? It's just simply just be a good dude, treat my mom good. And I mean, I don't care what y'all going through. Y'all not being physical, that's fine.
How old were you when he came into your life?
I was in middle school, so that's what, like,
you was
12.
already big.
Well, I was big because I'm 6'5", bro. I've been big.
No, I'm saying you were older.
He meant grown, not so. Come on, bro.
a kid. You
No,
had already
middle
had whatever
schooler?
it was in you.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Now wait,
Fucking
now
middle
I know. Listen, now
What's
I know.
happening here?
Okay,
Well, I mean,
so
because 11 years old is middle
all
school.
right, cool. All right, let's reset. All right. So one of the facts that you gave is in regards to children that statistically messing up more so. That usually comes from a single mother household, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if we take the conversation to it being a two-parent
single mother household. So when I say 2-parent household, I'm saying married, having children, raising those children.
Cool. So let's take it to a 2-parent household where one parent is a step parent. That's still a 2-parent household, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
You don't think so?
And I personally, again, I would never advise a guy, if this guy is single, he's taking care of business, he don't have no children and nothing like that. I'm not gonna sit here in good conscience and tell this man that he's supposed to get with a single mother. Absolutely not.
And that's
100%.
Cool. But there's so many single fathers that get with single mothers. So many single fathers.
So we just
I think
speaking
y'all should
about
have preferences.
are we just speaking about the men who don't have children? Is that the reference? Or are you saying just all men?
Because I
even if they
understand the
come
men
in
that
with
doesn't have children, but there's so many single fathers that look towards.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
I said, the majority
we
of
also
men
have to be
don't have
realistic
children out of
here.
wedlock.
Okay, where are you living? Right, we're living in America, and 1 out of every 4 kids are born with a single parent.
Yeah.
Or raised with a single parent, right? And the rest of the world, it's at an 8%. So we're about 3 to 4 times more likely to have a child be raised out of wedlock or with only one parent, right? So when you look at the numerics, you're more likely than not to run, if you're a guy who doesn't have any kids, you're more likely than not, depending on your age, to run into a woman that has a kid, right? So I don't think we're advising anybody, hey, I advise you to go find a woman that has a kid with another man. Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that the offer's not on the table depending on her behavior. Now, if she has 3, 4, 5 baby fathers, I would never advise that, right? Sorry to those women. But if you have one man you had one man and now you have one child with that man, and maybe even 2, and that's something that you want to tie up your boots and walk in the path you want to walk down,
crazy.
I would say go ahead.
But that's why I brought up single fathers, because when you see a
crazy.
woman that is a single mother,
yeah,
that child has a father,
yeah,
right? Who's a single father?
That's insane.
Like, are we not putting those two to the?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I would never advise any single man who got his stuff together, who was accountable with his life, to get with a single mother who, you know what I'm saying, who didn't choose wisely. Now, there are cases where it happens. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen or you're doomed if you do, but I'm saying I wouldn't advise that, especially if you, like I said, single man, and you doing your thing. You should want to be the first one to have that baby. That's what I'm saying. But another thing is too, I've seen videos where the actual, let me turn this off, where the actual father of the kids would try to come around on TikTok, where the actual fathers would come and try to see their kid, but the mom would allow the stepdad to disrespect his father, who's actually coming to try to see his kid. This is his baby. He's trying to come, but the mom is disrespecting him and the stepdad. And I think in a situation like that, stepdad, if you're a stepdad and you know this man trying to come and see his kid and you not allowing him to see his kid, you are a part of the problem. You are lame too for that, because you should want that kid to see his actual father. Now this kid is growing up thinking his father didn't even try, hating his real father. When in actuality, y'all was the ones who basically provoked that, made that happen. I think that's crazy. You feel me? But tell me what y'all think about the video in the comments, man. See you guys next video. Always remember, be safe out here, kings and queens. Let's get it.